Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. And Sunday for me is Book Report Sunday. I've been doing these book reports. This might be I think maybe my 15th, 16th book report since I've been doing these. And it's something I've really come to enjoy and hopefully you enjoy too. I know it's one of the things that people comment the most when I bump into them and they go, "Hey, I watch your stuff. I really like your book reports," and they'll start talking about a book. So, and I enjoy that. So that's great. Today, I'm going to talk about Selling in a Crisis by Jeb Blount. Selling in a Crisis. And you know what? Austin Lampton recommended this book over 2 years ago. And I bought the book and I put it on my nightstand. I only keep two books on my nightstand. But interestingly, that's where books go to die because I'm never in my bedroom. And when I go to bed, I go to sleep. And that's where I pick up books to read. I get them from my bookshelf, from my desk, that's my to-do reading list back there. And so I've had this book for 2 years and I didn't read it, but somehow it was on my mind. I don't know where it came up. I saw somebody, I listened to somebody mention it, a couple weeks ago. I go, I got to read that book. It's been sitting on my nightstand for 2 years. And I'll tell you, from the beginning, the book captured my attention. And I'm going to do something I don't know if I've done in this forum, but I'm going to read a few sentences from the preface of this book. And I want you to see how it feels to you. And the preface goes, "Winter is coming." Right there, that gets my attention, right? Nature runs on a cycle of spring, summer, fall, and winter. There are seasons of abundance and seasons of scarcity, seasons of renewal, and seasons of growth. Look around you in relationships, business, sports, sales, and life. The principles of renewal, growth, abundance, and scarcity are present in every facet of our experience. It is the same for the economy, even though most people seem to conveniently forget the basic truth. When the economy is growing, we tend to believe that it will grow indefinitely. We feel invincible. We take on more risk and lower our guard. During times of growth and abundance, when things are booming, there is a tendency to ignore the basics and abandon fundamentals. We become complacent as we sail on smooth waters. We assume that we are succeeding because we are so awesome at doing what we do, but as the saying goes, don't confuse a bull market with brains. During cycles of abundance, even the weak can succeed. Then, as the summer sun fades, trees go dormant, animals head into hibernation, and we're left freezing in the cold without a coat. We act as if we didn't know better. Winter is always coming, but somehow we choose to forget what comes with it. That is the nature of cycles. Recessions and economic downturns exist to expose our fragility and to build strength and resolve. They are a swift kick in the rear that sales professionals and business leaders require to get back to the basics and execute at a higher level. It's a challenge to separate the good salespeople from the mediocre ones when the high tide is lifting all boats. It's low tide that reveals the truth about their skills. Down cycles punish foolishness and poor judgment, weed out the incompetent, and expose salespeople who have strayed from the fundamentals, while the true rainmakers surge to new heights. Now that winter is here, you're challenged to look at the world through different eyes. So that's the preface, and you learn almost everything you need to know about this book. This book is a little bit of an attitude and mindset, gentle kick in the pants. It is an enjoyable read. I both read and listened to the book. I put a link to the Audible in the notes below because the Audible book was free. And I don't mean you had to use a credit to get it. I mean, they didn't charge a credit. And when I got the book, it was just free and it's in my library for 10 days. So I put a link here, and if you want to listen to it, you can click through it. The Audible book is only 3 hours and like 37 minutes or something like that, 3.5 hours. Really simple, and it's an easy listen. It's not super complicated material. In fact, the author, borrows quite a bit of material from other thought leaders and authors. He does so freely and openly. And so you've heard a lot of this stuff. He quotes Jim Rohn quite a bit. But he puts it in a way that just reminds you of what you need to be doing. Now, the book has 6 parts to the book. Part 1 is mindset. Part 2 is pipe is life. Part 3 is time discipline. Part 4 is sell better. Part 5 is protect your turf. And part 6 is protect your career. And within those six different parts are 55 strategies on how to outperform in a crisis. Okay, so now Jeb Blount, he's an expert in sales and business. He's known for his work as a sales coach. He's a motivational speaker. He's a best-selling author. He's written several books, including Fanatical Prospecting, Sales EQ, People Buy You, and then Objections. I'm not sure how many copies it sold. This book was published in 2022. It's a good book. It's an easy read. I'm going to go through just some of the ways that he suggests. We're certainly not going to go through all 55, but I'll go through, I think, some of them so you get a flavor and you can go and read the book at your convenience or listen to it for free. Just click on that thing. So the first chapter is Rise and Survive. Sales success in a crisis is built on action and mindset. Those who thrive focus on the fundamentals and maintain discipline even when fear is overwhelming. And that's really one of his main messages. Get back to when we're in the summer season and things are easy, we get undisciplined, we get away from the fundamentals. And then when winter comes, it's critically important to get super plugged into the fundamentals and to have a ton of discipline around the fundamentals. In other chapters, we also talk about having radical action, radical energy, radical movement. But the first is just return to the fundamentals. And so the second chapter is put on your swimsuit. And so what that has to do, just like Warren Buffett's famous saying about seeing people who are swimming naked when the tide goes out, salespeople in a crisis are exposed if they've strayed from the basics. This whole first section is very much about fundamentals. 3, be right now. Focus on immediate actionable steps rather than worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. That is, don't get paralyzed. Get into movement. Get back to fundamentals. Get back to your disciplines. Execute them right away. The only 4 is the only 3 things you control. In times of crisis, you can only control your actions, reactions, and mindset. Focusing on these brings stability. Don't waste your time focusing on things you can't control. 5 is stop wishing things were easier. Start making yourself better. That's a Jim Rohn quote, as you guys know. Hard work and self-improvements are the only path to success when facing difficult conditions. 6 is be grateful for adversity. Adversity offers a chance to learn, grow, shaping a stronger sales professional. 7, dig for ponies. I like this chapter actually. And it's optimism matters. There's always a pony opportunity in every crisis, and finding it is the key to survival. He quotes a study done at a university about how positive people and how negative people approach negative situations and positive situations. That's where this pony comes from. It's an interesting chapter. All chapters are like, if you're listening to it, the longest chapter I think is like 5 minutes, in the Audible book, and you can read it in just a few minutes. 8, you cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought. Negativity saps your energy and focus. Positive self-talk helps maintain momentum. 9, the trouble with doom scrolling. He talks quite a bit about negativity and doom scrolling. He'll also talk about crabs in just a second. And what he's saying, constant exposure to bad news harms your mindset. Cut out the negativity to focus on solutions. That's directly related to the next chapter, 10. Don't get in the buckets with crabs. We all know what crabs do in a bucket. They, try to, claw the crabs trying to crawl out. They claw them back down. So don't surround yourself with positive people who build you up rather than those that drag you down. 11 is very similar to one of the earlier chapters. 11 is invest in yourself. Continuous learning and self-care are critical during tough times. He gave I think there's a 5 or 7 step process to take care of yourself. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it was, read professional literature, 15 minutes a day. Listen to a podcast. Listen to a book while you walk. Listen to a podcast. Meditate or prayer. Eat healthily. Exercise at least 30 minutes a day. Go to bed early and make sure you get enough sleep. Is invest in yourself. So there's some places. There's a handful of places in the book, maybe a few more than a handful, where you get some tactics and strategies like the one I just gave you, versus just kind of, more of kind of thought, and mindset, And when he does offer tactics and strategies, especially like through the lead contact and lead conversion, it's good strategies. Um, 12 is set new goals. 13 is this is an easy street. There are no shortcuts in a crisis. Success requires relentless, consistent effort. It's the other second part. If it's getting back to fundamental, okay, if one's getting back to fundamentals, two is becoming super disciplined, three is having massive amount of energy and activity, four, always be rainmaking, always be rainmaking, always be selling, right? But five, work your ass off. And he shares examples when he first started his company. He was working like 20, 22-hour days every single day. And then when they hit the skids a couple of times, it was back to working 18, 20-hour days. There's just times that there's seasons in life, winter, where you got to put in the extra hours and try to just, maintain just the normal flow of business. Going into part 2, the pipe is life. Talk with people is chapter 14. The more conversations you have, the more you'll sell. Focus on reaching out and talking to more prospects. 15, become a relentless, fanatical prospector. During a crisis, waiting for leads won't work. You must actively seek out and create your own opportunities. This is really just everybody you touch, sell. Everybody, 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 everywhere, every day, all day, right? And that when you wake up, be selling. Sell during the day. When you're going to sleep, be selling. Sell. That's what he's saying. 15 is become the relentless, fanatical prospector. During a crisis, waiting for leads won't. We already talked about that. 16 is the squirrel. I really like this chapter. There was a BBC documentary about how squirrels keep figuring out ways to get to bird feeders, and they had these like an hour-long videos of squirrels doing crazy things where people have tried to prevent squirrels from getting their bird feeders, and the squirrels are just all out maniacal about getting to them. And so he says, be the squirrel. Persistence is key. Like squirrels who constantly find a way to get food, salespeople must stay relentless. Persistence, number 17 is persistence always finds a way to win. 18, go where the money is. You can't sell in an environment where nobody's buying, 19, 7 steps to building effective prospecting sequences. This is a really good chapter. This is another one where he gives tactics and strategies, and he gives the cadence of prospecting. It's good stuff. This one, if you're a salesperson, you should definitely check this one out. The chapter breaks down the steps to create effective prospecting systems: targeting, messaging, cadence, and timing. 20 is message matters. Craft the right message that resonates with the prospect situation, of course. 21 is when you hit the wall of rejection, keep going. There's really nowhere else to go. Just push forward. 12 is all prospecting objections can be anticipated. When the environment for selling gets difficult, the objections get harder, more personal, just more nasty. You have to get much better at first trying to prevent the objections, anticipating the objections, and handling them, and then not taking them personally. 23 is do a little bit of prospecting every day. Yeah, my opinion, and his too, is actually do a lot, but start with a bit more. One more call, that's one more, of course, is a really common theme. 25, protect the golden hours. That is prioritize sales activities during the prime selling hours and guard that time fiercely. 26, we talked about this, work harder, longer, smarter. In crisis, doubling down on effort and smarter work is essential. 27 is own it. Take responsibility of your time, actions, and result. I might add also of your mindset. 28, 3 choices of your time. Your time is limited, so make intentional decisions on how to spend it on activities that drive result. 29 is eat the frog. We've all heard eat the frog. That is tackle the toughest thing first. 30 is leverage high intensity activity sprints. And here he says focus on short bursts of high intensity efforts to maximize productivity. Part 4, sell better. I like this one, 31. Don't bring charm to a gunfight. And what that means is don't ham and shoot it. Be a professional. Learn your craft. Learn your words. Learn your script. Follow a sales process. Just don't try to charm somebody into a sale. Because he says charm alone isn't enough in a crisis. Use data, precision, and preparation in your sales pitch. 32, it's a sales pitch stupid. And he says follow a structured sales process that keeps you on track, especially when the pressure is high. 33, qualify better. 34, deal with decision makers. 35, advance with micro commitments. 36, keep the faith, and that is stay committed and trust in the process even when times are tough. 37, discover better, and that is understanding your prospects deeply and uncovering their real pain points so that you can serve them better. Number 8 is emotional experience matters. Tap into emotions during a sell. Number 39, chapter 39 is listen better. Chapter 40 is sell outcomes. Chapter 41 is sell better. Be confident and direct when closing. Don't shy away from the business. In this chapter, I think in this chapter he talks about, the stench of fear from a salesperson and how it's probably the most unattractive thing and will repel, possible buyers. 46 is manage your accounts. This is under part 5, protect your turf. So 6, under protect your turf, manage your accounts. Maintain strong relationships with your existing accounts to protect your territory from competitors. Chapter 47, be responsive. Quick, effective communication helps retain customers and builds trust. 48 is develop account retention plans. Create structured plans to keep your clients engaged and loyal. 49, protect your prices. This is interesting. And he talks about, look, like in a crisis market, and there's not enough business to go around, there's a race to a bottom, and everybody just cuts their prices. And he says, don't cut your prices. Stand firm on your prices. Don't let a crisis erode your value. Just fortify your value. And how many times have we heard that? Don't cut your prices, increase your value. 50 is be proactive, anticipate talent challenges, and reach out to customers when they have issues. The 6th, I really like this, is the last part. I like this section, protect your career. So this is who you need to be successful long term, and that's what will protect your career. And you'll understand this when I get this. Don't complain. Complaining erodes your mindset and image. Stay positive and solutions oriented. Right? If you start to complain, it will deteriorate your career. Nobody wants to work with a complainer. Nobody wants to hire a complainer. Nobody wants to buy from a complainer. Don't be a complainer. It doesn't make you attractive. So I love that as under that section, protect your career. 52 is be indispensable. Make yourself irreplaceable by consistently delivering incomparable value. 53, go the extra mile. Over delivering helps secure long-term relationships. 54, and I like this, he talks about this all the time, and he says, outperform the dip, but he really says that outperform the crisis. He says it he says it maybe 50 times in the book. And take advantage of downturns by working harder than your competitors. And the last chapter is be bold. He goes, don't be scared of the crisis. Be bold. It's the bold ones that actually have the huge wins. He has a short epilogue in here, which I also could have read from, which is always trust your cape, which is just believe in yourself, when you're facing a challenge. So if I was going to sum this up, and we're still on time in this book, I'm going to kind of sum up some of the key points I think I have a couple times. But first, sales fundamentals are timeless. Stick to the basics like prospecting, qualifying, and closing even during tough times. Second key point, persistence and optimism are key. The ability to keep going even when facing rejection and adversity separates successful salespeople from others. The next key point, crisis creates opportunity. Downturns clear the field of weak competitors, providing more room for determined salespeople to thrive. Next is time management, discipline. Protect your selling time fiercely and focus on high impact activities. And lastly, maintain a positive mindset. Self-talk, emotional control, and optimism are crucial for staying effective under pressure. So that's this Sunday's book, Selling in a Crisis. I hope you like my review. Click on the link, which I believe gets you a free Audible, and have a great Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks. Bye.